Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you, Sebastian, for taking the time for this interview.
Of course, thank you.
So, how's everything? You're in Florida, right? You're from. Let me check here because I have it. You're from Wesley Chapel.
Yeah, well, so originally I'm from Houston, Texas. And I'm a senior, so for my sophomore and junior year of high school, I went to Saddlebrook Golf Academy.
Okay.
That's where it is. So I lived in Wesley Chapel for 2 years, but this year I'm back home in Houston.
Oh, so you're in Houston, Texas.
Yes,
Very nice. So you're from the Lonely Star state.
yes,
Wonderful.
exactly.
We have good golfers from our country there. We have Valentina Gili, which is a Division One golfer. Luis Martinez is also a very good golfer. He's over there. But the first thing I want to do is ask you um, about the tournament because for the audience that is going to watch this, this is Sebastian Moss. He won from the starting day in the Junior Orange Bowl. Amazing performance, if I may say. Let me just give me 1 second because I'm looking. You got 62 on the first day, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing about that I want to ask you, what happened previous to that day? What was your preparation for such a tournament?
Um, so I mean, like I said, I'd been in Florida for 2 years, so I'm kind of used to how Florida courses are, just kind of how you have to play them. But I go before every tournament, I go onto Google Earth and I try to map out the course, how I want to play it, what lines I think would be best before I even get to the course. So I have kind of a game plan before a practice round. Um,
It was definitely worth it because I see that you began your round hitting an eagle.
yeah, no, I started on 10, but I still started birdie birdie. So,
Yeah, I
um,
have it's 506 yards and it shows eagle par birdie birdie the first four holes, right?
yeah.
So what are, as a junior golfer, when you begin a tournament like that, how were you feeling during that first round? What were your thoughts?
The first day, just I just thought of it as any other round. I mean, I knew it was a 4 day tournament, so the first 4 holes is just it's barely any of the tournament done, so anything can happen. So I was just trying to think whatever I can do to keep that round going because obviously I was feeling good. So the more birdies I could make, the better my game would feel, the better position I'd be in for the next 3 days.
Oh, it was definitely wonderful performance. You played a great round that day. And now the next round, the later in the day, you hit the next day. You got two strokes below the court part. So I have a when you know you're playing golf against guys like Abel Gallegos, which is the lag champion, John Daly the second, this great kid Tommy Morrison. You already faced some of them in another tournament, right? So
Yeah.
what were you thinking? Like this is the second round day. I have to continue. What is your strategy knowing that you are leading the tournament?
I looked at it as if it was almost like a new tournament, kind of where I could just go out and play my game because obviously there's a lot of good players in the tournament, and if I was able to shoot 9 under, I feel like anyone in the tournament could shoot 9 under. So that that means everyone's on the same level. So I think just going out and trying to shoot the best score possible each day So for that second day, I played a good round, and it was 2 under, and it was it was still the second best round of the day. So I think that was positive, and I was able to just keep the same feeling that I had the first day and keep it going on day two.
Well, one of the things I want to ask you um, about that tournament, when the tournament ended and you got to be like, okay, I won this tournament. What was the first thing that came to your mind? What was like, okay, I won this, I have to celebrate. What was the first thing that you were?
Definitely the first thing was a sigh of relief, because after that first round, shooting 9 under, I got a lot of messages, a lot of phone calls. So I felt extra pressure from people around me to continue to improve. And then obviously having the lead each day, there's the pressure that comes with that. So I think finally being done and knowing that I had won, it was more of a sigh of relief than anything. And then being there with my parents and being able to enjoy with them, and calling my golf coach and hearing all the messages people would send me. I think that was kind of the most exciting thing.
Oh, and the trophy was very
Yeah,
big, right?
yeah, it was really big and it was heavy. So
Yeah,
it
and
was,
you broke the tournament record for the first day, if I'm incorrect.
yeah, yeah, that is
So
correct.
now you're going to Louisville, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's Louisville men's golf for and you will be graduating in the 25.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Now I have to ask you, when we talk about your development, because again, it was an amazing performance. Your training, do you use launch monitors on daily basis? Do you practice with them for the putt, for the wedge, for the even fly scope, trackman, whatever type of launch monitor?
Um, I wish I had a launch monitor more often. Um, I I know a few people who have some, so I'll go every about once a month or every few months and go find all my distances so that I know how far I'm hitting everything. And but most of my mechanical or technical work is just with the camera and videoing my swing and slowing it down and seeing what needs to be worked on, or same with putting. So I think most of my work comes with technical work is with the camera, even though I do get to use a TrackMan every once in a while.
And when you use video, does it help you with your teachers, with your instructors to improve your game? You get to see your own things to improve, right? You get to see the, like you
Yeah,
mentioned, the mechanical part, because I get to record a lot of recruitment videos for the kids here in my country. And the first thing the coaches ask me, like, I want to see the backswing. So
hmm
what type of angles do you use over there?
So my coach, he's actually in a different state, so I'm the one taking a lot of my videos. So I use like a alignment stick, and I have an adapter that I put my phone onto. So I'll take with my 7 iron and driver from down the line, so you can see the backswing, and then face on. And most of the time, I mean, I'll look at my swing, and I'll look at what I know what I should be doing. So if I can see anything wrong there, then I can fix it myself. Or if I don't know what's going on, I'll send him the videos, and he'll look at it. If he needs a different camera angle, sometimes he'll ask for some kind of diagonal angles or lower or higher camera angles. So it kind of just depends what my issues are, or what needs to be fixed.
Okay, okay. Now I have this question about the PGA Tour. Which are your five uh, favorite golfers at the PGA Tour?
Well, being from Texas from a long time, it was Jordan Spieth. Um, I I liked how he wasn't the longest or anything, but his putting, because that's one thing that I find important is putting. So the fact that his
He just
putting,
changed instructor recently. I believe he's going to be trained by Harmon
oh,
to
okay.
get to his game again.
But so I've always enjoyed him. Recently, Xander Schauffele.
Mhm.
I think he's a really good player. I like watching Matthew Wolf just because it shows that there's no one right way to to be good or to win. Um, and then obviously I enjoy watching Tiger, just
Yeah.
how much knowledge he has and what he brings to the sport and what he's done for junior golf in general.
You get to see sometimes Jonathan Vegas, which is from our country, or Joaquin Niemann or Juan Sebastian Muñoz, which is from Colombia. Do you get to watch them during the the PGA coverage?
Yeah, I do. My mom's actually from Colombia,
Oh, nice.
so I've enjoyed watching Sebastian Munoz and Camilo Villegas.
Yeah.
So I've definitely watched both of them play. So it's been I mean honestly I like watching everyone. I think you can learn a little bit from every person on tour. They do everything just a little differently.
Well, Colombia has improved their golf quality by a lot during the past 15 to 20 years. Right now, they're amongst the leaders from the amateur side and also getting pro golfers to the United States. They're getting very good at it with along with Mexico, and Argentina and Chile. They're getting very good with this. Uh, Previously, you mentioned that we had launch monitors. In my country, my whole country, we have 30 million people. We only have three trackers. That's all we have.
Wow.
And we have maybe a dozen fly scopes, something like that. The reason why I ask you is because since you have such a proper golf development, because I'm checking that you train, that your high school, Sailor
Yeah.
actually trains in Tampa,
Mhm.
and they have this amazing academy, and they also got and because I'm reading it from your website, that your high school has sent kids to over 40 or even 50 universities around the country. So talk to me about that game philosophy, like what, because what I'm trying to, there's time for this. This is going to be streamed for all Latin America, but what I'm trying to, in this case, particularly from my country, we are a little left behind among technology, okay, a little bit. So we
Mhm.
have good coaches, but they left the country. So we still have some good instructors, but they are limited in technology capability. We're trying to improve that, but that's why we want stories like yours, because when you get to see where you train, like a high school that has a nearby golf academy, a tennis academy, that is unbelievable. We don't
Mhm.
have that here. We have to go to a golf course, to a private golf course, or to a semi-private to be able to train properly, or driving range, and you know how it is. So
Yeah.
what type of recommendations you give to, so we can improve our game here?
Well, I think a lot of it, obviously, being in a good facility, having the proper equipment is definitely important. But I think it's more. I think the knowledge is the biggest thing. Being able to understand because, like, I right now, me being in, my coach being a 3 hour flight away, I'm basically on my own when I practice and it's just me out there. So the fact that I learned to understand my golf game, my golf swing, what makes it better. I think that's the biggest thing because all I need is my phone, a little stand, and I can understand what I need to do. Um, and there's, I mean, my coach finding drills also is I feel like is important because my coach he sets out a plan for me. It takes me about 4 to 5 hours to do every day, and it involves drills, games that I play with myself. Um, so it keeps me focused, and I can do it with just a little bit of equipment. but definitely the
So
in
wait, give me 1 second. Along with all your study, you train 4 to 5 hours per day during the week, like per.
yeah.
So that's a lot of work. Like, how do you do with your homework?
So I do homeschool.
Oh,
So
nice.
I kind of have the flexibility to
Yeah.
do whatever I want when I want. Like in I didn't do as much homework during the Junior Orange Bowl because I was focusing on golf, but then so I set my own schedule.
Right.
So most of the time I'll wake up around 7 and then I'll do homework till about 12 o'clock. Then I go to the course till about 5 o'clock and then I'll go work out and come home and spend time with my family. So I think being able to get good work in and then trying to play whenever I can.
No, that's amazing. Few amateur players in Latin America have that capability. I like that because, like I mentioned before, we're trying to improve the high development program because at the tournament we had two golfers on the tournament and one female golfer from our country. Virgilio Paz, which had a good tournament, 3 of the 4 rounds. Jose Miguel Ramirez, which is a long driver, but you know how golf course in Florida can be. They have wind and the conditions and everything changes. But and we have Lucia Ramirez. But what the reason I ask you this is because when I see your tournaments in Florida, you go all around the region so you can play and improve your level. Because what I try to explain to them here is that we need to improve the quality of the tournaments by a lot. We've had as a country we've had wonderful golf instructors and good amateur players, but well, I obviously as a graphic reporter, what you want to see is the best level possible. So that's why these type of interviews are going to help a lot to all of the golf academies in Venezuela. Now, when we see your school, could you talk a bit about Seidel Group Preparatory School? How does the system work so they can help you, like you mentioned during homeschool, so you can achieve your goals while getting the degree for high school and your scholarship to Louisville, to the Louisville Cardinals?
So when I went to Saddlebrook, it was we would have classes. The school it's like a resort, so everything that you need is there. So where we would live in our apartments were on in the campus, and then we would have the school there, and then not too far away was the golf course. So we would go to school from 7:30 to 12:05, and then we would have lunch and then head to the golf course from 1 to 5. And so we would, depending on how many players there are, there's about 5 to 6 players per coach. And so each coach takes their players and they go to different part of either short game, putting, or the range. And so we would practice and then you switch. So you get work on every part of your game on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we would have playing days. So we'd go out with our coach and you'd play. And so the coach would watch you play, talk about what's going on, what you need to work on. And that would be how our week was scheduled. And then on the weekends, we would have the ability to do what we wanted, but most of us would go out and play or have some kind of match or just something like that.
Nice. Oh, that is, I love that logistics. It looks so amazing. And we have that in our country. We have sort of for baseball or for soccer, especially for baseball. We have that type of installations. We have farm systems from the Major League Development Program here in my country. Some of them have left for Dominican Republic, but we've seen those type of hard performance programs. Venezuela historically has had like two or three high development programs, systems, but they come from time to time. They do not. But what we're trying to achieve here is a long-lasting high development program. So it lasts two or three generations, like the Colombian or the Brazilian or the Mexican. Speaking about Latin America, obviously the USA has had it for the last 70 years. That's why you are leaders at the Olympics and many other professional systems. Now, I have this to ask you about your goal. When you hit an eagle on the first day at the tournament, what is your main game on golf? You are a long driver, you are a short game specialist. What you're an all around player. What would you tell about yourself as Sebastian Moss?
Um, I think when I'm playing well, I'm definitely all around. In general, my driving is normally my best part. I don't hit it the furthest, but I hit it straight. Um, so I think my putting is the one thing that it's either good, really good, or just okay. Obviously, at the Junior Orange Bowl, everything was working right, and so I hit a lot of fairways. I hit a lot of greens. I was talking with my coach yesterday, and I was for the tournament 15 for 20 up and downs. So I got up and down almost every time I had to. Um, so I think that it's when I'm playing well, it's a combination of everything, but mostly my biggest strengths are my driving and my irons.
Okay, okay. Now, when you mention your irons and you get to see, you mentioned previously Wolf and Sander Shuffle and Tiger Woods, who still hits pretty far. You get to watch those players on their game, and you get to be like, okay, what are they doing with their technique? And you go to the Monday to your practice, and you get to, they did this. I need to improve my quality with my wrist and with my mechanical. What do you see? What do you analyze after your tournaments and after watching tournaments? How do you apply that to the court?
Um, I think when I play well, really seeing what I do well. So I made sure as soon as I won the next day, I was taking videos of my swing, so I could save them and know, okay, this is when I hit it well, what I was doing. And so I think, and I had some previous ones, so it kind of goes whenever anything is going off, going back to the simple stuff and what I do right, and um, even just checking up because I try to keep things as simple as I can. So every once in a while, just looking at the simple things like alignment, ball position, grip, just all the things that aren't during the swing, but that can cause the swing to change.
Okay, now let me because I'm checking something here on the from the course, and I have to ask you this: you exit your tournament. No, it doesn't matter which one. What's the hobby of Sebastian Moss? He goes to watch a Marvel movie, a Disney movie. He likes to read a book. He likes to go to the beach and surf. What do you like to do after?
Like after a tournament,
See,
um,
besides golf, outside of golf,
yeah.
what are your hobbies outside your golf life?
Um, Recently I've started to enjoy working out. So I think that's become something that I enjoy doing, and it's obviously helpful, but I enjoy. Um, I like um, I like watching movies um, whenever I can, and right now it's hard to go to the movie theater, but I definitely enjoy that. And I do. I will say I do enjoy video games um, when I can and when there's a time for them. I think I do really enjoy that.
So you play video games like
Yes,
FIFA or other players RPG games. What do you play?
I play a little bit of everything. I have FIFA. I have 2K for basketball. I have Madden. Um,
Oh, Madden is a nice game.
yeah,
We don't have football here in Venezuela, but we love watching the Super Bowl. Since
yeah,
we have a lot of culture with your country, with my country, has had a very long-lasting connection. Even Kennedy went here, and we always our country used to have very good relationship. Along with sport, we have like all of our players. We what they their objective is to get a scholarship so they can go to the U.S. to study. So when they come back with their graduation titles and everything, they get like, okay, I went to see the NCAA tournament from football,
yeah,
and they studied in California. They go to the Rose Bowl, and it's everything like 100,000 people, and the passion is unbelievable. So,
yeah.
and regards to your to the FIFA, which is your favorite soccer player?
Um,
Give me three.
Gareth Bale.
Hmm?
Because I used to go when I went to Scotland to play, and they were playing out to play golf, and there was a soccer match between Wales and Scotland.
Nice.
So I watched him. Falcao.
Yeah.
Um,
Good forward.
I always every World Cup I go for Colombia. So and the last one's tough.
Maybe Neymar or Messi or Cristiano or Alfonso Davis, the Canadian, they're very good.
Probably James Rodriguez.
Okay. Now, I have a question regarding the going back to the golf life. How many tournaments have you had that actually have like a type of live stream or several photographers around you during the tournament? Because I'm gonna clarify on this. This is you're not gonna believe how much helpful this interview is going to be for all the programs that we're developing. But I'll let you know like every update we do because this is the reason why I ask you this is because previously in our country we used to have this media like five TVs, four local TVs, seven photographers per tournament. We had a good system, so we could broadcast all the golf activities here in our country. We even got to the PGA development program. One of the founders in Latin America is from Venezuela. So the way I ask you this is because we're trying to improve for the junior golfers to be able to adapt to cameras 15 feet behind them and a lot of crowds besides them. Because here it's right now unless you go to the 4 or 5 big tournaments, you don't get to have 400, 500 people per tournament. So when the kids are going to get to the big tournaments, they don't do particularly well. So we're trying to improve that to be able to play under pressure. That is where your mental part comes principle. But what I'm trying to ask you is, do you get to have a lot of people around your tournaments, and how do you manage with the pressure during your whole life? Like, okay, this is not affect me. This is part of my game. How do you see the media and the people around you when you play?
Um, to be honest, I haven't had too many tournaments where there's just a bunch of media. Obviously, the biggest ones like Junior Orange Bowl and other ones, there are. But I try to just forget that they're there because I try to when I'm playing, I try to just make it me, the other kids I'm playing with, and that's it. Because I just try to go back to remembering when I'm at home with my friends. It's just us out there. We're playing golf. It's still competitive, but it's not. there's no, there's just not cameras on. So I think obviously making sure, controlling actions and making sure that being respectful if there's cameras on, or always, but especially when there's cameras on. But I think just sticking to your game and playing the same golf. I mean, in reality, it shouldn't be much different than when you're just playing for fun with your friends. Than if there's a camera on. It's still golf. The objective's still the same. The goal is still to get the ball in the hole in the least amount of shots possible.
Well, I love that opinion, and I'm gonna paste it on the media this very weekend because um, where the high development program is not only for our instructors to properly develop you as junior golfers, we're also going to improve their quality, like you just mentioned before, so they don't get extra pressure from the media. They will know how to handle it, and for interviews, so we can get them ready for when they go play against Sebastian Moss and the Louisville Cardinals. They do okay. That's what we want for them to be able to do good tournaments because we have like a handicap here, not on our favor in regards to the media, but we're trying to change that, and we will do it, especially with this type of interviews we've had along with you during the past 6 months. We've had wonderful people like Jim McLean or Dr. Sasha McKenzie, which is a ping advisor for and a food joy advisor for the PGA. We're trying to get the best of the best on different areas so they can show us what we can do to improve our game. So, Sebastian, I really want to thank you for taking the time for the interview. Again, congratulations on your title. And
Thank you.
what I would like to ask you, if you could send a message, like looking at the camera to our Venezuelan and from Latin America, because your mom is from Colombia, so send a message also to that country. So, to have a wonderful golf year because the one thing I love about golf among everything is that you get to be yourself against yourself during the game and with a lot of friends, even if it's for a wager or for a tournament, but you get to have fun, which is the
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I definitely think that no matter what is going on in the world and the issues going around, that everyone will always have golf. And no matter what you're doing, if it's a tournament, a big tournament, if you're playing well, you're not, golf will always be there for you. You can always go back and have fun. And so just make sure you enjoy it and don't put too much pressure on yourself, because then that's when you start getting anxious or you don't have fun. And golf's meant to be fun. It's something, it's a privilege to be able to do. So just always enjoy and work hard so that you can have success.
Well, wonderful. Thank you, Sebastian, and thank you again to you and your family for this interview. And we're gonna post it upcoming next week, and we're gonna let you know exactly when and through which social media we're gonna post them. So thank you again very much, and hopefully we'll be tracking you soon. And if this when this vaccine gets better, hopefully even provide you an invite for the biggest tournament here, which is the Venezuelan Open, which is on the second semester or maybe for next year. But thank you for taking the time for this. And again, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate you wanting to talk to me.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you, you too. Bye.